Good evening, Facebook, and welcome to this week's Talks. Think on these things. It is I, your girl, your host, Marilyn Gregory, aka MG, and aka Pearl. And I am with you every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, bringing you word, something that I think or hope will lift you up, something that will inspire you, something that will encourage you, and something that will give you positive things, some things that you should think about, right? And I always promise I'm not going to hold you long. Tonight's not going to be any different. So go ahead and grab some people and let them know that MG is on and she has a word tonight. So I want you to think for just a moment. Think about maybe the worst thing that you've ever dealt with, or even maybe the worst thing that someone you know may have even dealt with. Or just imagine the worst thing that might could happen to you. So I think back to the children of Israel, right? When they were coming out of Egypt. It took Moses going back to Pharaoh several times before Pharaoh's heart was finally softened and he allowed the children of Israel to leave, right? To get all their possessions and to leave. And as they were leaving, they were leaving, and then they got to the river, right? And then you have the rivers in front of me, and then all of a sudden Pharaoh changed his mind, and Pharaoh and his army is behind me. So it's like the best and worst day, right? It's the best day because you're leaving, you've been set free. It's the worst day because now all of a sudden I've been set free, but it looks like I might be dying, right? I'm free, but it looks like I might be dying. But in the midst of that, imagine how God parted the Red Sea. And then you were like, whoa, never seen anything like that before in your life, right? So now it's the best day again. So God parts the Red Sea for the children of Israel, and they begin to walk on dry land. And can you imagine you're walking and you got a mountain of water on this side and a mountain of water on that side, but you're walking through dry, and then you're thinking at any minute, now this water could fall down on me and drown at any minute. But then you're walking, and then all of a sudden, when you get almost halfway across, you turn around and you look, and then there's Pharaoh and his army coming after you, right? But God allows you to get over to the children of Israel, get over to the other side. And then what they were afraid could happen to them happened to Pharaoh and his army. That mountain of water on both sides just came flooding down, right? And it drowned them. That's awesome. That is awesome. And can you imagine like the worst thing you've gone through? And then now you see yourself on the other side of that thing and you're thinking, oh my God, how? How did I make it through? Nothing but the blood of Jesus, nothing but the grace of God, right? Nothing but. Because I can think back to some bad times and I'm thinking to myself at that moment, just like I'm sure the children of Israel were thinking, just like I'm sure Daniel and the lion's den was thinking, just like I'm sure the Hebrew boys were thinking, how am I going to make it through this? This is almost an impossible situation. But God. So in Isaiah 43, God reminds his people who he is. He is the one true living God. And he also reminded them of what he had done, right? parting the Red Sea, man, all that good stuff, right? But then he goes on to say, forget all that. Can't even think about all the things that God has brought you through, all the miracles, all the things that you just could not even imagine yourself living through, right? And then God says, forget that. Forget all that. Forget that you thought you were going to be put out, but the rent was paid. Forget that you thought the lights were going to be turned on, but somehow the money came through. Forget how the doctor said it might be cancer, but when the test come back, no cancer. Forget all, God said, forget all of that. He's saying that is nothing compared to what he is going to do. I want you to sit with that for a minute. I want you to think about the worst thing you thought could happen, and God brought you out. But then God says, forget that. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to what I'm going to do. He said, but I'm about to do something new. All that stuff, it was good. Pat on the back, I parted that Red Sea. I delivered you. I made sure you had food. I made sure you had a place to live. I healed your body. But forget that. I'm about to do something new, something that you have never seen me do before. And what's so awesome, he said, I have already begun. He's already started. And he asked, do you not see it? Look around. Do you not, God's asking, do you not see it? I'm about to do something new. And guess what? I've already started. Can't you see it? He said, I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. Isaiah 43, 18 and 19. That's what he is telling the children of Israel. That's what he's telling us today. Now he's speaking through Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, and he's showing them little flashes of the coming of the Messiah. But he's also saying, I'm about to do something you have never seen in your life before. And I've already begun. And then he's asking us, don't you see it? Look around. Look around at your life right now. Look around at your situation right now. Don't you see it? God has already begun. So even if you're lost in your own wilderness, God knows exactly where you are. If you're in the lion's den, God knows where you are. If you are in the fiery furnace, God knows where you are. Even if you messed up, God knows where you are. If you made bad decisions, and we all have, God knows where you are. If you hurt someone that you love, if you hurt someone that you don't love, God knows where you are. And he is about to do something new, and he's already begun. So if you're exhausted, if you're burnt out, if you're burdened, if you're overwhelmed, if you're overworked, he is about to do something new. If you feel trapped in your job, in a relationship, whatever, he is about to do something new. If you feel hopeless, helpless, confused, uncertain, he is about to do something new. And guess what? He's already started. It's already begun. So just take a look around. Pay attention. Pay attention to God's provision in your life. Then you'll recognize his presence in your life. So take inventory of the provisions that God has already placed in your life. And then you'll begin to see his presence in your life. You'll begin to see that new thing that he has already begun, right? That's how much he loves us. He loves us so much, he refuses to leave us to ourselves, right? Instead, he sent his son Jesus, to make a way for us, a pathway for us to have a relationship with him. Can't you see it? Look at the provisions in your life right now. Take inventory. It's already begun. He's already doing something new, something spectacular in your life. And when you look at his provisions, when you take inventory and look at his provisions, then you will begin to see his presence. So look for him, watch for him, and expect something new. Facebook, that's all I have for you tonight. So go out there and be that change that you want to see. Have a blessed and safe Thanksgiving. And while you're giving thanks, while you're giving thanks tomorrow, today, every day, take inventory. Take inventory of all of his provisions so that you are able to see his presence. So go out there, be that change that y'all want to see. Y'all know that I love you. There's not a thing in the world that you can do to change that. I am out. Have a blessed and safe Thanksgiving. Peace, y'all.
Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." Join me, Marilyn Gregory, aka Pearl, on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as we explore these things and renew our minds.